Well, there you have it. Donald J. Trump and his inauguration and his inaugural speech. A good, focused speech for this president. He really stayed on target. I'm going to go through some of the things that he talked about here in just a minute. There was one thing that he said that really gravely disturbed me. I've never heard a president ever utter these words before. We'll get into that in just a minute. But I wanted to ask Allie Beth, what did you think of the speech?
I was a little surprised that right out the gate, as soon as he started the speech, he started indicting and eviscerating everyone in that room.
So
how corrupt and incompetent they were. I loved it. I thought it was a great start of the speech, actually.
I will tell you that it crossed my mind what courage it takes to. He didn't say it to eviscerate. He didn't say it directed at any one person. He eviscerated the policies, and the courage to say that with those eyes right behind you,
yep.
I thought was remarkable.
Me too. And I think everyone appreciated that boldness and that bravery right out of the gate. I did.
I expected that more tonight, though. Or the next, he's going to the arena next, right?
Yes.
He's going to give another speech. That's kind of where I expected that vibe. I mean, it's more. You get more points though for doing it to their faces, basically.
I think so too.
He talked right out of the chute, North Carolina, Los Angeles, left without, quote, a token of defense. Mm-hmm. Completely and totally reverse this betrayal of our people. And from this moment on, America's decline is over. Our liberties and destination will no longer be denied. Those are powerful, powerful words that he said. He also said he's learned a lot. Those who wish to stop our cause will not stop at anything, but my life was saved for a reason. My life was saved by God.
Yep.
Several mentions of God in this.
Yes, I was a little, I guess I wasn't surprised that he made that theological claim there, that I was saved by God to make America great again. You know that's going to make a lot of people mad, but the truth is, if you believe in a sovereign God, it was God's providence.
It was.
It was his mercy that saved him. For God's glory, first of all, but also we are beneficiaries of that, also for our good and for America's good. So that's just an objectively true statement.
Hang on, little Carrie Underwood here as she sings in the rotunda.
Beautiful.
Above the fruited plain, America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
I think Joe Biden was singing the wrong words, and Kamala was barely singing.
How good was that, though? She looks, of course, always fantastic, but that is an incredible version.
She's the perfect person for that.
She is. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely presidential. That was a great version of that. I mean, incredible.
And she got a lot of heat for it.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, she did.
I'm glad she powered through it, though.
I am too. I am too.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, we're going back to stupid speeches, so let's just go through his speech a little bit more. He talked about the Black and Hispanic community coming together. Reason why I scrolled down this far is because we were talking about God. He said not only was he saved by God, he said later in his speech, I am going to pursue unrelenting success and not forget our God.
Yep. And that's what we want. That's what we want.
He said that each day will work with strength, purpose, and dignity. Today will be remembered as Liberation Day. I mean, all of the language of a real revolution is in this speech. He says national unity is returning. He said, in so many words, let me get into the executive orders. And it was a long list of things that he was planning on doing today through executive order. And Stu, this surprised you.
Yeah, I kind of thought we'd get this speech a little bit later. Like, I think this would be the type of thing that he might give at the arena. It was more policy heavy. And I asked you a couple of times, just like your view of history, is this speech normally... I mean, I guess, is this the maybe it's because it's inside that's throwing me. Is this the equivalent essentially to his, the American Carnage speech from 2017? I mean, that was his inauguration speech, right?
Yeah, but no, I think this is Reagan putting the world on notice and saying the era of big government is over. Government is not the answer; it's the problem. Those came in his inaugural speech.
But that's a big theme. That's not necessarily a specific policy. Like that, and I'm not surprised there was some of that in there. I was surprised at how much he went there. I don't think it's a problem. I just historically didn't realize that's where that stuff was placed.
I think, and I'd have to go back and look at the other speeches, but my recollection, it is a place where he talks. The president will lay out the big vision, but he is so specific on enormous policies because he's got to. This is a moment the entire world was watching. If you follow American politics at all, and let's face it, most people do all around the world right now because we are back, hopefully, in a position of leading out of this darkness, he's got to make very clear statements on the big things. Like, we are taking our national security as paramount of importance right now. We are going to close these borders. I'm going to issue the Army and our military down to the borders. We're not messing around. Drug cartels, you're on notice. You're now a terrorist organization, and we're taking you out.
Yeah.
I mean, those are internationally heavy with ramifications. And I think something that he needed to say, not just the next day, but when the world is watching.
Paying attention. I definitely think it was more specific than Biden, unless my memory is failing me. But you'll notice he was even specific on the culture war things Trump was. When he said 2 genders, male and female. I mean, certainly Biden didn't say anything about transgenderism in his inaugural speech, and he wouldn't have. But the fact that he went in that hard in this speech.
But he did go, Biden did go in and talk about equity and inclusion, all this bull crap. All this bull crap. Donald Trump is not that guy.
Yes.
He speaks the language of the American populace. And, you know, I mean, listen to some of this language. We're going to end catch and release. Our troops will go to the border to repel the invasion of our country. Cartels are foreign terrorist organizations, and I'm invoking the Alien Act of 1798. All foreign gangs will be gone. As Commander-in-Chief, I will eliminate threats to our country. I mean, these are powerful, powerful words. He then went into gas and oil, et cetera, et cetera. I will end the Green New Deal today, end the electric mandate, to keep a deal with our auto workers. I will build autos at a pace at a pace we've never before seen, and thank the auto workers for their inspiring vote of confidence. That's the only group that he really paid homage to, were the auto workers. He said he's no longer going to tax citizens to help foreign countries. He's going to tax foreign countries to help our citizens, and establish the internal revenue, the external revenue service, which did not get a clap line. Did you notice that? Then he went into Doge. He's going to stop all government censorship. He didn't talk about the new propaganda laws that we had reversed by Barack Obama, where we can now do propaganda in the United States on our own citizens. I'm hoping that that is just an oversight in the speech. He said he's going to end government policies that bring race and gender into every aspect of life. return to merit-based hiring, 2 genders only, reinstate the military that has been fired because of COVID with full back pay, sign an order to stop all social experiments, defeat our enemies in all places. What he said about the military was really interesting. I don't know if you caught this, Stu. We are going to, we will be defined by the battles we win, the wars we end, and the wars we don't get into.
That's profound.
Really good way.
That's always been his view. I mean,
yes.
This is one of the things he's been most consistent about in his entire public discourse.
Right. It's interesting also to me, and I can't figure out why. Is this because of the oil policies that President Biden enacted on the Gulf of America? I mean, it's nice, but that is just a populist thing unless it's tied to opening up the Gulf of Mexico and saying, well, you can't drill in the Gulf of Mexico. It clearly says that, but this is the Gulf of America.
Hillary Clinton laughed out loud when
Did she? I didn't see that. Yeah.
Cackled. I don't know if it was genuine or if she was like, that's ridiculous, but I just thought it was funny to see that from her.
Oh, I'm sure she thinks that's ridiculous. And this restoring of the name, this directed at Barack Obama's term, restoring the name of McKinley from Denali, which President Obama. So there are some map changes that are coming due to this, including the Panama Canal. What did you think, Stu, about his statement? He said, China is operating the canal and we are taking it back. That's a quote.
I mean, you know this better than anybody, Glenn, because you were talking to him about this before he talked about it publicly.
Oh, it was in June or July. It was right after the assassination, and he said to me, "You keep your eye on Panama next year. It's going to play a big role in 25."
And this is one of those things that I think hit most of the American people like, huh?
Yes.
Panama Canal. Why is he talking about that? He has been very focused on that throughout the campaign and throughout this transitional period. It's one of the most important issues to Donald Trump. This is not one he's blowing off. I mean, he's serious about Greenland. He wants it. But I don't know that is a thing that is going to dominate his day-to-day operations. The Panama thing is to that level. He really sees this as vitally important for U.S. interests.
Yeah, not just U.S. interest, defense.
Yep.
He sees China in our hemisphere just the way John F. Kennedy saw Russia in our hemisphere. And he's not going to play games with it. He will take it back. I don't know what that means.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. What does that fight look like? Because the CCP won't give it over that easily.
No, but it's Panama that can cancel all those contracts. The United States has the leverage. Now, they take the CCP out of the Panama Canal. We could be looking at a Cuban Missile Crisis kind of standoff on that. That's a very big deal. Mm-hmm. Here's the one thing that he said that bothered me, that I've never heard a president ever say, ever before. It is time to act with courage and lead our country to new heights, a country that expands our territory. What does that mean? Expands our territory. We have always been a country that does not take the spoils of war, so I know he doesn't mean it through war. But what is the expanding of our territory that he is confident in? It would be Panama, or is it Greenland? Is it both? Is it Canada? I mean, what is he talking about there?
He has kind of talked about buying all of these places.
I know he has.
We don't know.
I know. And it would be, honestly, it would be the best, $5 trillion America has ever spent if they were up for sale. Yeah. So he said, expand our territory and take back our manifest destiny. Now, I'm not sure the president knows the real history of manifest destiny, but that's where America went wrong in the 1820s and 30s. Manifest destiny is different than divine providence. In fact, it is the opposite. of divine providence. Divine providence is do the things that the Lord asks you to do, and doors will be opened for you. Manifest destiny is we're here because God wants us here. We're taking it.
No matter what.
No matter what. And that's those two things. I don't think he understands the difference between manifest destiny. What'd you say?
He wasn't specific on everything else that we've talked about. He was very specific about what he was going to do. This was the one time where he just kind of threw out the euphemism.
Yes.
And he didn't explain it.
Yes.
There's got to be a reason for that.
Yes. Expands our territory and reclaims our manifest destiny.